Good evening. It is Tuesday, April 6, 2021. We enjoyed our Easter celebration with a total of 41 different people attending at least one of our Easter services. We appreciate those who attended in person as well as the many more who joined us online. Today was our monthly food distribution. In cooperation with Caring Ministries, we were able to help approximately 51 families, representing an estimated 178 people, with food boxes. It was a good day. As we continue along in our devotional journey through the Gospel of Mark, this evening I want us to look at Mark chapter 12, verses 18 to 26. And again, I'll be reading from the New Living Translation, second edition. This is the part of the final week when the religious leaders are trying to provoke an argument with Jesus. It's always interesting to me that there are people who go to church just to get into arguments with other people. Whether it's from some strange sense of spiritual superiority or a cosmic sense of entitlement, I usually choose not to engage the argumentative. As a church, we would rather feed poor people or worship God or teach people the Bible than we would focus on argumentative people. Jesus did not give them much time either. The scripture says, "Then Jesus was approached by some Sadducees, religious leaders who say there is no resurrection from the dead. They posed this question: 'Teacher, Moses gave us a law that if a man dies, leaving a wife without children, his brother should marry the widow and have a child who will carry on the brother's name. Well, suppose there were 7 brothers. The oldest one married and then died without children. So the second brother married the widow, but he also died without children. Then the third brother married her. This continued with all 7 of them, and still there were no children. So tell us, whose wife will she be in the resurrection? For all 7 were married to her.' Jesus replied, 'Your mistake is that you don't know the scriptures, and you don't know the power of God. For when the dead rise, they will neither marry nor be given in marriage. In this respect, they'll be like the angels in heaven. But now, as to whether the dead will be raised, haven't you ever read about this in the writings of Moses, in the story of the burning bush? Long after Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob had died, God said to Moses, 'I am the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob.'" The Sadducees had come up with this ridiculous imaginary supposed situation of 7 childless brothers. If I'd been answering, I'd said sarcastically, "You're not the first ones to go to hell worried about someone else's wife." But Jesus states quite plainly, you don't know the scriptures, and you don't know the power of God. What a condemning indictment for religious leaders. You do not know the scriptures. We ought to know the scriptures. We ought to learn, read, study, and enjoy the scriptures. We should know the power of God as seen in the changed lives of forgiven people, mean, angry, self-centered people who become loving parents, rebellious children who become loving and attentive grown-ups, substance abusers that find sobriety, stingy, greedy graspers who learn the joy of giving. There is an awesome, tremendous power of God to change lives. He gives the example of Moses at the burning bush, a story every Hebrew child knew from the cradle to illustrate life after death. God is alive. There is life after death. And the Easter we just celebrated is the promise that we can share in a beautiful life with God when this earthly body wears out and gives out. Know God and know His Word and enjoy the life He has given you. And don't waste it with empty arguments. God bless you.